Hi Ritesh, welcome to Bollywood Live.
Thank you.
First up, like the sense of ending, how easy is it for a filmmaker when you work on a material that has already got so much of acclaim?
How easy, or is it how
How
hard it is?
challenging, yes.
uh, well, uh, well, I've always loved the book. It's an extraordinary book. So I came to the project really from the place of loving the book, which I think everyone did, even the actors. When we were going through the casting process, everyone had a special attachment to the book. At the same time, you're making a movie. You're not making a book. So the movie and the book have to be cousins, not siblings, because siblings can sometimes kill each other. So we always had to preserve the soul of the book, but at the same time make sure that we are doing our own thing. Because the Sense of an Ending is a very interesting book. It's a lot of it is a stream of consciousness of one person, talking to us, the audience, the reader, and movies have to be told through relationships. So we had to really build and mine those relationships that are alluded to in the book. We had to kind of bring them to life and mine them a little bit, and also drift a little bit away from the book. So as I said, they could be cousins and not siblings that kill each other.
And the sense of an ending has got Tony as the lead character as he tells the story, and even in the lunchbox, like Tony, even your Sajjan Fernandez was also someone who was lonely, who was reclusive, and had gone through love and loss in his life. As a filmmaker, do you have a particular affinity for this theme of love, loss, rejection,
and curmudgeons? No, not not really. I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time analyzing myself. I don't think anyone does. But you said something interesting. When I was growing up, I shared a room with my grandfather. So the first 18 years of my life and the last 18 of his, we spent together in a room, and I got a chance, to live through and to see a lot of what he was going through. So I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking of that. I just felt a real personal connection to the book when I first read it. And not just with those themes of loneliness and regret, and also things like self-revelation. I'm learning new things about myself, if I'm so lucky to, every so often, and all of us are, if we are lucky. So that's really what attracted me to it. That the character's life reveals itself to him in unexpected ways, and if we are so lucky in our lives to experience a small measure of that, or we can do that through a movie, so that's why you should watch this movie.
And a lot of people who have read the book have a thing with the climax. Like, many people feel there are some loose ends in the novel. That's what, like, the general consensus I got when I went through the book and a little bit about it on the net. So was it like, as a filmmaker, how have you worked especially towards the ending of the story?
Well, as I said, a movie has to be a cousin of the book and not a sibling. So I know the ending of the book is much debated, and it's much it's a topic of much disagreement and agreement, and it comes as a shock to some people. Some people read the book again after they come to the ending, and but the thing with literature is that it is a different medium. It can do things that a movie cannot, and a movie can do things that a book can't. And I also feel like both a movie and the book don't have to give a sense of cohesion or completion necessarily, but they have to give a sense of satisfaction in their own way. So in a movie that you're adapting from a book, if you're mining those relationships, you owe the audience the full sort of trajectory of those relationships, within the frame of the movie. So we were conscious of that, not as conscious of preserving the ending of the book in the movie, but more conscious that we are telling the story through relationships rather than one man's sort of stream of consciousness, and we owe these relationships, his relationship with his wife, his relationship with his daughter, his relationship with Charlotte Rampling's character, his ex-girlfriend. We owe all those relationships some sense of, if not completion or cohesion, a sense of coming to terms, of people coming to terms with each other. and that's how I thought of the ending of the movie, which is very different from the ending of the book.
And this is like your second feature film, and you're already working with an Oscar winner like Jim Broadbent. Do you ever feel overwhelmed at times? Like, oh God, what's happening to me? Like, is this for real? Like, do you ever get that feeling?
Oh no, of course, absolutely. When you're on a set with Charlotte Rampling, there's no one like her. She's an amazing person, just so smart and just so alive, and she brought her life to this character, and when she sits into a frame, you're there and you're discovering things with her together. Like we were shooting a scene for The Sense of an Ending once, and we were talking about Veronica and what she would feel and what she would do at the time, and we came up with something unexpected, and then Charlotte did it, and it was even more unexpected. So you feel like this is icon from the 60s and through the years, and you're working with her and you're getting a chance to collaborate with her. I mean, the same with Mr. Redford, who I worked with recently on a movie. I mean, and also with Irfan, it's a real joy. It's real good fortune to collaborate with all these people.
And after the success of Lunchbox, did you get any offers from any big Indian production houses to direct some scripts for them?
Well, I generally work on my own writing, so I wasn't on the lookout for things like that. And also after Lunchbox, I took some time to myself to write, to figure out what I want to do next. I was trying to adapt a novel, and then The Sense of an Ending came my way, and I was very judicious in choosing what I want to do next. And I love this book, and I love the story, I love the characters, and that was really my yardstick for doing it. And also a chance to collaborate with these amazing actors. But I wasn't on the lookout for anything that you're describing specifically, like scripts from big Indian studios, because I just didn't make myself available to that concept and that notion, because I really generally prefer to direct something that I wrote. So I just made myself busy writing.
Recently we have got Priyanka, who is coming in a Hollywood movie in Baywatch. Then there's Deepika in The Return of the Xander Cage.
That's great.
We have with all the big actresses coming in, and a number of other Indian actors are also doing well. So you stay so much time you have spent abroad. How do you think people's perception of foreigners is changing towards Indian cinema and towards Bollywood?
Well, I don't know. I think it's a great thing that people from outside India come and make movies in India, like Slumdog Millionaire. I thought was a great movie, and people from here, from Bombay or in India, go and make movies outside. The world is just becoming a smaller place, hopefully. I think it's a great thing. I hope it continues. You're right, it's happening more often than it did a couple of years ago. But as far as people's perceptions of India, I don't know. I think one spends so long and so much time involved in their own work. Unfortunately, that just these larger picture of how people perceive, your people, and I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about this. This is just really involved work, I think. But it's all for the best. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing those movies, and I think it would be great, to make a movie one day which has great parts for both actors from the East and the West. Truly great parts, and a movie that's for a global audience. That's what I'd like to do with my life. So.
And one of the most contentious things in India, not spoken about, is censorship. What's your take on it? Like, people feel that really the censor board here is very archaic, and the censor laws.
Well, I read about it in the papers, and I think that the general consensus seems to be, and I feel this way too, that a rating system would benefit us more. Like if movies were rated, and those ratings were enforced, by the exhibitors, just like it is, in most places in the world. There is a measure of censorship everywhere, but I think what really works is a rating system, a simple rating system, whether this is for children above 13 or below, or this movie is only for adults, or really only for adults, and but a rating system which seems to be the general consensus, but I wonder why it never gets implemented and only talked about. But that would be, something that has worked in other places, and it would work very well in India, I think.
And this year, did you manage to watch any Bollywood movie of 2016, like say a Neerja or a Kapoor and Sons, Aligarh?
I wish. I've just been so busy working. I just finished shooting a film The last Hindi movie I saw, which I really loved, actually was Piku, and I thought it was phenomenal. I thought Irfan was great in it. I thought Deepika was amazing in it. I thought the movie was great. It was great writing. Mr. Bachchan was amazing in it. So, I hope I get a chance to work with Irfan again and all these great actors over here. But I love that movie. I love that movie. That was the last movie I saw actually in India.
Okay, so I haven't seen any of the 2016.
No,
did you?
unfortunately not. But I'll catch up soon. I hope.
Okay, any one movie you're looking forward to, like in 2017? Anyone, like Rangoon is coming up. Then there are quite other projects also.
You mean Hindi movies?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a big fan of. Mr. Bachchan. I think he's making a movie soon. I heard that's coming out. I think in March.
Sarkar 3,
I
yeah.
think so. Yeah. And I'm also a big fan of Ranbir Kapoor. I think he's a great actor. So I'd love to see what he's coming up with next. And Deepika Padukone, I think she's a great actor as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're coming up with for sure.
Yesterday there was this one event in town and Shah Rukh was there at it. So they have started this Indian Academy Awards for movies, and he said a statement in there where he said that people should now stop looking at the Oscars. Obviously they are great and inspirational for all of us, but he said that the cinema industry should set its own benchmark, because he said nowadays we have got so many award shows, so slowly the system has lost its credibility. So what's your take on it?
I think it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense to have your own benchmarks and have and equally it makes a lot of sense to like when I travel, I've been when I was much younger. I'm not that old, but when I was in my 20s, I traveled a lot. I made it a point to travel, and I was very lucky to be able to do that. And I would go to a place like Sudan and just turn on the TV, and I would see invariably a Hollywood movie or TV show playing on the TV. And I think it would be great if one day you switch on a TV anywhere in the world and you see Indian content, Indian movies, Indian TV shows playing. I think it's great. I think both things are great, to set our own benchmarks and also to make sure that our movies and our stories travel. There's no cultural diplomacy like Indian film attracting a global audience or an Indian TV show attracting a global audience. So I think both things are important, and I think what he said is absolutely right. And I would love to be, if in our lifetimes, Bollywood product or Indian product travels as far and wide as Hollywood product. And what does that take? What does that take to do? That takes not only setting our own benchmarks, but exceeding the benchmarks set by other people as well outside the country.
Thank you so much, Ritesh.
Thank you.
It was lovely having you with us.
Pleasure.